Universal's Islands of Adventure has 3 brilliant water rides to help you cool off in the Orlando sun. And sometimes you might get a little bit splashed, and sometimes you get drenched, basically. So we're going to talk you through the 3 rides you can do at Universal's Islands of Adventure. These exciting rides are the Jurassic Park River Adventure, Popeye and Bluto's Bilge-Rat Barges, try saying that when you're a bit drunk, and Dudley Do Right's Ripsaw Falls. Join me as we go through all of these rides to work out the splash factor, how wet you're going to get, and what they actually involve. Okay, let's get our feet a little bit wet by going on the first of our attractions. And this is actually one of my favourite rides at Universal's Islands of Adventure, and that is the Jurassic Park River Adventure. It's one of the opening day attractions, and even though it was opened in 1999, it's still a brilliant ride, and it's still something that I have to go on every single time. I went back in December, and the weather was fine. It was kind of quite nice, but no, it wasn't kind of boiling hot. The good thing about this ride is that the splash factor is probably a 1 or 2 out of 5. So you do not get sort of drenched. You're not going to come off usually sort of drenched. They can adjust the water kind of levels to sort of depending on the kind of the weather. So when we went last time, it was probably about 20, 22 degrees or something like that. So it was warm, but not sort of boiling hot. So we probably didn't get as splashed as probably we would have got if we were going in July and August when it is a lot hotter. Now, set the scene for you for this one. You're going to get into a boat and you're going to go and live your own Jurassic Park adventure. So this is based on the original trilogy films, well, actually based on the original film, because obviously after the first Jurassic Park has closed down. So this actually happens before that film is set. So you get on your river adventure, you get onto your boat. Now, the boat rides that you get in Disney, for example, there's no lap bars. So you've got Pirates of the Caribbean, Small World, that kind of stuff. The lap bars, this does have a lap bar. And speaking to some of the team members that work there, there's a couple of reasons why you have a lap bar. One, it is a really steep drop. You don't actually need it for it. What it does do is that it stops people from jumping out, because you might get a little bit scared and you might decide to try and jump out of the boat. So it stops people from doing that. Plus also, if you have a safety harness, there is that psychological thing of this is going to be a pretty big thrill ride because I've got a safety harness. There is no safety bar. It is literally just a bar that goes across the entire row. Because the lifter is very steep, it will lean back onto the person who's the biggest, and they will take the brunt of the force of it. And I was in a row on my own, and I had this entire bar kind of leaning towards me, so I could push it up and hold it up. So it starts off nice and gentle and slow. I'm not going to do too many spoilers for these attractions, but I will kind of walk you through the basics of them. So it starts off nice and slow, so that you go through this gentle river, gates to Jurassic Park open, and then you see some of the sort of tamer dinosaurs, so all the herbivore dinosaurs, so there's obviously no danger to us or anything like that. And it is really nice, it's really relaxing. You're out in the Florida sun, and you've got these dinosaurs, and they are big dinosaurs. And then you go around the corner, there's a few little splashes that kind of come up. So if you're sat on the left hand side, there's a waterfall, so you might get a little bit of splash of that. And then they have like big splashes that go up, and then you might get a little bit of a splash off of that, but nothing sort of too wet to start with. One thing to talk about is lockers on these attractions. With the Jurassic Park River Adventure, they do have lockers, but they're paid for. Because the splash factor rating is only sort of 1 to 2 out of 5, you don't actually need to put your belongings in there. They do have lockers, but they're paid for. I mean, my little trick is I just walk down to Hagrid's in next door in the Wisdom World of Harry Potter, put my stuff in there, because that has a really long wait time. So you're going to have at least an hour and a half, maybe a couple of hours of free locker time. Put it in there, walk back as well. Of course, you can leave stuff with a non-rider. It won't get too wet. did on last time I went on it. I took my bag on, and it was absolutely fine. You're going through Jurassic Park, and then kind of does in the film, something happens, and we get knocked off course and then taken into the Rapture enclosure. And like a good kind of suspense film, don't actually see the raptors straight away, but you'll see signs of them, so you'll see things moving around as well, so it kind of builds up that tension. So Steven Spielberg was the creative director for Islands of Adventure, so he knows how to build up suspense. He did sort of like Jaws films and obviously Jurassic Park films as well, so he knows how to kind of build up suspense. Then we're going to go up the lift hill, and it is a big steep lift. As I said, if you are the biggest person in there, the black bar is going to lean back onto you. And you go up, I'm not going to spoil the surprises for you, but there are sort of a few sort of surprises that are going to come away. And then you're going to go up the top, and then that is when you're going to go down the big drop. That's the one that you can see when you go to Thunder Terrace Falls, and you can see the terrestrium. You can see the big splash from there. So that's basically where you're going to get wet. As I said, it kind of depends on the day as to how wet you're going to get. They can sort of adjust the level of water, that kind of stuff. So, but even on the hottest days, it is still 1 or 2 sort of splash rates, and so you will get a bit wet. And again, it obviously depends on where you're sat in the raft as well. So if you are sat kind of in the middle of the middle row, you're not going to get as wet as someone who sat in the front row or on the side as well. So that's kind of one thing to think about. Try and be strategic of where you sit, and maybe put the rest of your family off to the sides. So I personally think this is a fantastic ride. To have Velocicoaster next door as well, it kind of really makes the whole area, this massive Jurassic Park, Jurassic World area, and it's brilliant. Let's move on to the log flumes. This is based on Dudley Do-Right, which is something we don't really have in the UK. It's a cartoon. It's a Canadian Mountie. It is sort of a normal kind of log flume ride, but it's a highly themed one, and also a very, very wet one. With this one, you are going to get wet. So it starts off, you're going to go through this kind of a story. Basically, a girl gets kidnapped, and Dudley Do-Right has to go and save the girl. And there's a few kind of like jokes and that kind of stuff. From the outside, you can only see the mountain. You can only see the one drop. But inside the mountain, there are a couple of other drops as well. So you'll do kind of like a few drops, and you will get sort of a bit splashed in there. And then you're going to come up to the big drop. And this is the one you can see from the outside. And it goes down, back up again, over the water, and then back down again. Not only do you get soaked, you also get a massive thrill as well, because you get the big drop, go back up again, and then back down again, and then you splash out. Even in December, which is kind of like a cooler time of the year, check out our guides to the best time of the year to go, sort of like for weather-wise and things like that. You can check out the videos and the podcasts and that kind of stuff on the website as well. Even in December, which is kind of a cooler kind of time of the year, people will coming off of it absolutely drenched, soaking wet. This is a 4, sometimes 5 out of 5 on the soakometer. So just be careful. Now, with the wet rides, they do have those dryers. This is basically these big heaters that you can stand inside of. You do pay for them. And in all the shops that are next door to these attractions, you can buy towels and you can buy clothes. But what kind of suggest, we'll make some suggestions towards the end. There's kind of good things to do. Now let's move on to Popeye and Bluto's Bilge-Rat Barges. This is a whitewater rafting attraction, so it's kind of similar kind of one that we're going to get in sort of most theme parks. It's just that this one is highly themed and highly wet as well. So as you go on the ones in the UK, sort of Western Towers, you might go for a little bit damp. This one you're going to get absolutely soaked, especially depending on where you sat, and obviously it rotates and turns, so there is no guarantee as to where you sit. If you've done the Cali River Rapids ride over in Animal Kingdom, that is nowhere near as wet as this one. So it starts off to the normal whitewater rafting ride. So you go down, you're going to sort of like bash around a little bit, and it is a bit choppy. Then there are just things which are just designed to get you absolutely soaked. There are things where you basically just go under, like fountains of water, waterfalls, that kind of stuff, where it doesn't really matter where you're sat on the raft, you are going to come off wet. And now again, they can kind of lower it down and things like that depending on the temperatures, but it is a ride that is designed to get you wet. And you will come off absolutely soaked. I mean, there's not much difference between just jumping in the water. So we'll go through some tips a bit later on about how you can then dry off afterwards. I really like this ride, but there are only certain times of the day that I do it, and also with the weather as well. So last time when I went in December, the weather wasn't hot enough for me to go get absolutely drenched. So this is a ride that I decided not to go onto. And judging by the amount of empty rafts that are going around it as well, a lot of other people decided not to go on this one. It is a really great attraction, and if you're going to go when it is warm and hot, definitely go on to this attraction, but you will get absolutely soaked. So here's some tips for a splashing good time at Universal's Islands of Adventure. Firstly, wear appropriate clothing. So for example, if you have trainers that are kind of like quite fabricy and hold in water when they get wet, sort of running trainers, these are not necessarily the greatest things to be wearing when you follow this attraction. Last time I went, I had Timberland boots. They're waterproof. These are great to wear on this kind of attraction. Some people also wear flip-flops, that kind of stuff as well, because it's just going to be, or Crocs. Crocs seem to be incredibly popular. Not my personal fashion choice, but a lot of people do seem to be liking wearing Crocs. And if you're happy to wear them, fantastic, excellent. Wear those, but wear appropriate clothing. So whatever you don't want to get wet, don't wear it on the ride. Put it in the lockers. So I've put it for Jurassic Park River Adventure. You go and use those lockers down in Hagrid's, or for the other two wet rides, they do actually have their own lockers, so you can go and use those if you want to. Or of course, even with a non-rider as well. It's probably usually someone in the group that doesn't want to get wet, so just leave it with them. Don't wear anything long or even that on there, because it's always going to take longer to dry. You basically want to go in to the attraction in as little as possible. Now, some people will wear swimwear, for example, but you need to still be wearing sort of like t-shirt and things like that. So they might change those shorts from the normal walk around the park shorts into swimming shorts, and that's absolutely fine to go and do that. A lot of people, when you go into the toilets afterwards, the toilets are soaking wet on the floor because people are changing in and out of those kind of things. So you can do that, and then obviously leave your stuff in the lockers that you don't want to get wet. Staying on site, what you can do is you can go and do the water ride, do them all 3 in a row, so you can come off absolutely drenched, and then head back to the hotel, go and get a change of clothes, maybe get a coffee, warm up, that kind of stuff, and then come and hit the parks a bit later on, or maybe to go for a swim, wash your back, because you're really soaking wet. Look, go and make the most of it. If you do have any kind of clothes that are quick drying or kind of waterproof, then again, those are kind of things to wear. Those people dryers are available. You do see a lot of people using them, and you see, I saw an entire family of 5 inside one of them last time I was there, and they were pretty wet, to be fair. So you can go and stand inside of them. It's not going to get you bone dry, but it's going to dry you off. But again, it's more about if you were wearing long sleeve stuff or sort of heavier stuff, that's what you don't want to be wearing on the attraction. You want to be wearing lighter stuff, because that's going to dry off a lot quicker. If you want to back-to-back all the attractions, check the wait times and do the one that's got the longest wait time first. Because what you don't want to do is, for example, if Dudley Do Right's got an hour-long queue, but the other ones have got a 20-minute queue, you don't want to go on to the other ones and then wait for an hour to go on to that attraction. You might be starting to dry off. Plus, a lot of the queue is kind of like in the shade, so you're not going to get the Orlando sun warming you. Always do the attraction that has the shortest wait time last. If you're going to go sort of off-season, then they pretty much are all going to be kind of walk-ons. Going in December, for example, you're pretty much just going to walk straight onto all of these attractions. Again, check out our guide to the best time of the year to go to walk. If it is already raining, then why not? If it is already torrential rain, like sometimes you're going to get in Orlando, then why not just go on the water ride? You're going to get soaking wet anyway. If you're already wet, you might as well go onto these attractions. Embrace the wetness and have a blast. These rides are designed to get you wet, but also designed to have loads of fun as well. So make sure you have tons of fun, get wet, enjoy yourself at Universal's Island of Adventure. If you found this useful, please hit the subscribe button. If you can leave us a comment, a rating, review, a thumbs up, or whatever, that would be absolutely fantastic. Thank you very much. If you want us to come and help you book your holiday to Orlando, please get in touch at orlandoinsider.co.uk. That's Orlando Insider, all one word, .co.uk, and one of our Orlando gurus will be more than happy to help you put together your perfect, awesome Orlando adventure. For now, thank you much and have a magical day.